G'day guys, welcome to today's video review of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is a kids movie. Sonic knows it's a kids movie. Sonic doesn't try to pretend to be anything other than a kids movie, and as such, was very enjoyable. Sonic is from another world and has been hiding out on Earth for quite a while until he attracts the attention of the government, who sends Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, to capture him, whilst he teams up with local cop Tom Wachowski, played by James Marsden, to rescue his rings and flee Earth to the Mushroom World. Sonic wants a friend, and Tom wants to prove himself as a cop and save someone's life. This movie does exactly what it advertises on the box. It was a fun, buddy road trip movie with surprising heart, taken to the next level with the performance of Jim Carrey. And this is 90s style Jim Carrey, an evil Ace Ventura. Where have you been, Jim? He looked like he was really enjoying himself, and unlike some of his comedies when he was younger, with experience now, knew exactly when to pull it back from being completely over the top. James Marsden was a great pick for this movie, as not only is he a likeable everyman, but he's also experienced with interacting with CGI characters, like in Hop, and sells the developing relationship between himself and a blue hedgehog from another world convincingly. As an old school Sonic fan, there was enough little Easter eggs to keep me happy, but they're not intrusive to whereas if you didn't know what was going on, if you'd never played a Sonic game before. It's a pretty stock standard story, like Paddington Bear or Peter Rabbit, but it's done really well, and since the director and studio decided to delay the movie and redo the Sonic CG character due to the online backlash at how bad it looked, it now looks, acts, talks, and moves like Sonic the Hedgehog. The only main negative is that it was barely an hour and a half long and it could have easily gone for another 30 minutes. But it's also the same reason as the next criticism, is because it's only an hour and a half long. If you've seen the trailers, the TV spots, and the footage that they've released on YouTube, then you've pretty much seen the entire movie. I mean, literally, I could have pieced the movie together from those clips, but I'm sure Paramount would give my channel a copyright strike, so you'll just have to look them up yourself. But I suggest if you're interested at all that you do get out and go and see this movie and support the creatives that actually listened to their target audience, took on board the criticism, delayed the movie, retooled the CG to deliver an experience that the fans want to see. And I really hope it pays off for them financially and reverses the trend of recent years of preaching to the audience and then verbally abusing them when they don't go and see the thing they told you that they didn't want in the first place. But after the last two movies that I've suffered through, this was definitely a pleasant palate cleanser. If you have kids, they'll enjoy it. If you grew up with Sonic, you'll enjoy it. If you miss the 90s Jim Carrey, you'll enjoy it. I'd even go as far as to say that this is the best video game to movie adaptation to date. So my rating for Sonic the Hedgehog is 6 out of 10 stars. But that's what I'd give it if it was just a normal kids film, which I wouldn't normally go and see anyway. But because they listened to their fans and redid the beloved character, and the CG in general in this movie is really good, like Dr. Robotnik's drones, I'll give it an extra point, making a grand total of 7 out of 10 stars. There's not a great deal of spoilers for this movie, but there is one in particular for Sonic fans. So here's your warning, get out of here now, because here comes the spoiler section. Okay, so there's pretty much nothing to ruin in the movie. It literally plays out like the trailers, other than saying that there is the same cliche, let's roll back the movie to where we started, as there is in Birds of Harley, but the fact that this is such a trope that it's being used in a kids movie made its use and reuse in Prey of Quinn seem even more derivative than that. The Twitterverse seems determined to compare an R-rated action movie to a kids comedy. But if that's the case, then I'll say that this movie did copy from Deadpool. They copied the viral marketing. Instead of interviews with actors espousing their political views, there are ads online of sports stars saying Sonic is the fastest and so on. This is the sort of endearing marketing that Ryan Reynolds pulled off with Deadpool, and was a great idea by the studio to emulate that and send out a consistent message and set the tone of what the movie is and who it's targeted towards. Of course, they also copy the fast-running, slow-motion effects that were pioneered by Quicksilver in X-Men, but it's been done in The Flash, in Justice League, and so many others now that this is also a trope for use in kids' movies. Remember when Princess Fiona jumped up and did the Matrix kick in Shrek? That's when you know it's a joke and it's been overused in action movies in regular cinema. Sonic also uses his rings as teleporters to other dimensions, like Doctor Strange does with his sling ring, but once again this has been done since Stargate and has been reused so many times recently in The Witcher that it's now moved into kids' movie territory. But there are 2 mid-credit scenes that'll be worth Sonic fans hanging around for. The first is Dr. Robotnik stranded on the Mushroom Planet. He's shaved his head and his mustache is wilder, and he has nothing to eat but mushrooms and is losing his mind. He swears he'll get off this world, and he pulls down his goggles and looks like Eggman in the video games, which is what Sonic nicknames him in the bulk of the movie. He treks off, leaving it open for the sequel. The next one is the best one. Firstly, when the credits are coming up, basically the whole movie is replayed on the screen as a 16-bit 2D Sonic game. It tells the whole story of the movie as if it were a game in the style of the old Sonic games, and that in itself was satisfying enough. But then a ring appears on the screen, and through the ring, from another planet, appears our old mate, Tails. He comments, in cartoon-accurate voice, that he's tracked Sonic here to Earth, and he has to find him. The orange-furred fox is done in the same style as the CG Sonic. He then splits his tail in 2, which rotates like a helicopter, and he flies off towards the town of Green Hills to find Sonic, in the inevitable sequel. Congratulations if you made it this far, you are part of the top 1%. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one today, as it was just good to see something pleasant for a change. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.